Now step number 4 says turn on and set up your function generator. This is to turn on the function generator. Then press the utility button. Output setup, high Z, then done. You must perform this operation every time you turn on the function generator, and do not press the output button. Do not press this one until the circuit is ready. Then step number 5 says use a T connector on the function generator output. So here's the function generator output, and here's the T connector. So use a T connector on the function generator output to connect the function generator output both to the circuit input and the oscilloscope channel 1. We use a BNC to banana cable to connect the output from the function generator to the circuit. Here's the BNC to banana cable. This goes to the input, the input of the circuit. And we use a BNC to BNC cable to connect the output from the function generator to channel 1 on the oscilloscope. Then step number 6 is to set up the oscilloscope. So turn on your oscilloscope. And set it up to measure the frequency and peak-to-peak voltages for both channels 1 and 2. To do this, we first press on the measurements, then clear all the previous measurements, clear all, then select the source. So for channel 1, we want the frequency and the peak-to-peak. So the type, it's on peak-to-peak, add measurements, and then the frequency, add measurement. So now we have the peak-to-peak and frequency for channel 1. Now for channel 2, change the source to channel 2. The type, we want the peak-to-peak, add measurement, and then we want the frequency. And then use a 10-to-1 oscilloscope probe to connect the output of your inverting amplifier to channel 2 of the oscilloscope. So here's the 10-to-1 probe. We connect this to channel 2. And we make sure that channel 1, the ratio is 1-to-1, and the ratio for channel 2 is 10-to-1. Then step number 8 is what I just said. So step number 8 is to check that the ratio for channel 1 is 1-to-1 and for channel 2 is 10-to-1. Now step number 9, apply power to your circuit. So press the power supply blue all on off button. Then apply the signal from the function generator. So now let's connect the banana cables from the DC power supply to the circuit. So first, this is the positive 12. We connect the positive 12 to the red rail on the circuit, on the breadboard. The second one is the ground. This is the negative 12. This is one side of the BNC to banana cable, which is connected to the function generator. So this is the signal part and this is the ground. We connect the ground to the ground of the circuit. And this is the signal part, which is V input, and V input is connected to the input resistor. This is the probe that's connected to channel number 2. This is the ground. And this should be connected to the output of the circuit. And the output of the op-amp is pin number 6. Now the circuit is ready to apply the power. So this is to apply the power. Channel 1 gives 12 volts for channel 2, and then apply signal to the output. Step number 10 says set the function generator frequency between 1 and 10K. I'll choose the 1K, but if you want a 2K, 2 kilohertz, so let's choose the 2 kilohertz, and set the function generator amplitude to an amplitude just above the value that saturates your amplifier. So the amplitude, let's choose 2 peak to peak, and on the oscilloscope press auto scale. So this is unsaturated. We need to increase the amplitude, and notice the output. The output is first auto scale. So this is the saturated waveform, output waveform. We capture this. I have a USB drive here, and to capture this, here's a save to this USB, and then press to save. Now it's saved. Step number 13 says reduce the function generator output amplitude until your circuit is not saturating. So let's reduce the amplitude. Now the circuit is not saturating. Use the vertical scale knob to maximize both waveforms to just short of full screen. So this is to center channel 1. Here's to center channel 2. And this knob is used to maximize channel 1. This is used to maximize channel 2. And then in step number 13, you need to record V peak to peak, V input peak to peak, which is peak to peak 1. V peak to peak output, which is peak to peak 2, and the gain, where the gain is V peak to peak output divided by V peak to peak input. And then you need to capture the input and unsaturated output waveform to your USB drive. Save. And you also notice that for the inverting amplifier, the theoretical gain is negative, the feedback resistor divided by the input resistor. And this should match peak to peak 2 divided by peak to peak 1, which is the output voltage divided by the input voltage.